Episode, we're going to work on hills, and I am going to show you the simplest hills you'll find anywhere on YouTube.
I'm a huge fan, so that was a big deal to me.
Okay, maybe not the most simple hills, but these are going to be simpler than any hills you'll see on the Terrain Trollop or on the Terrain Teacher. Any of my competitors who are out there making terrain videos, they always want you make paper mache. You got to mix up plaster of Paris, or you got to take a foam cutting tool and chop up some foam. Now, this requires none of that. All you have to do is get your hands on some deli meat. Sorry, vegans, I don't know of any sliced soy products that come in trays like this. Ham or chicken containers. I'm gonna start by trimming around the edge and just getting the lip off the side of this thing. Shouldn't take too long, shouldn't be too hard. Then we're gonna trace it on some cardboard because we are gonna make a base for this. We want areas to come away from the hill that we can put plants on and things of that nature. Now we're just gonna hot glue the whole thing down to the cardboard. I'm using my big hot glue gun here. The more hot glue, the better. The edges of the plastic are gonna melt a little bit into the hot glue. That's good, it just makes a stronger bond. And I'm just gonna get that all over, all around, like so. And then of course we're gonna start cutting that out with scissors where we've traced. I'm gonna chop that, and that's gonna be our little hill area. And that's the whole physical component here. From here on out, we're just coloring stuff in, and we are gonna glue some things to this, but we are done crafting our hill. I mean, if you're really lazy, and if this is for an emergency war game situation, there's your hill right there. You gotta use your imagination, but you know, there it is. It's basically in its basic form. Now I'm gonna start putting some glue on the top of it here, and I'm gonna then spread that glue around using a nice piece of cardboard, a nice flat piece, so I can smear it around. I'm gonna get it all evenly on the top. We're gonna get some on the sides. We're gonna get some on the little lip that we gave it, the little cardboard lip. And we're gonna just get that everywhere, just rub it around. Nice white PVC glue. I add a little water. I like it a little runnier, it lasts a little longer. I was lucky enough to get my hands on some of this stuff on sale because of school starting a while back, so all the sort of school leftovers, the stationery supplies that go real cheap. I got myself a bunch of this white glue, so I'm real happy about that. Now I'm gonna just take my craft sand from the Dollar Tree, dump it all over the hill, and just anywhere it'll stick is good. Anywhere it sticks on the glue. And we're gonna have to let that sit until it fully cures. So this is a good time to take a break if you're doing this and start working on another project, or maybe do something not crafting related, you know, become a more rounded individual. Now if you want to make a larger hill, which I will be doing in this video here, I'm going to make two, one that's just one tray and then one that's two trays put together. All you have to do is cut these trays like so. You'll see I'm leaving about a quarter of the width on one, and the other side we're going to leave about 3/4. We're just going to cut the piece that we left on the other. So you'll see they'll match up when I line these up together. They're going to be, they're going to slide right into one another when I put these together, just like that. Then we're just going to use the hot glue gun, large hot glue gun, to bind these two together. And after that, once you've got them joined with the hot glue, you can treat them just like the other hill. It's just twice the size. And you are going to have to work to hide that seam a little bit. That'll be something we'll do a little later in the project, and I'll show you how that's done. But mostly we'll be just, you know, hiding it with craft sand and plants. Now, I'm going to be using some of my big bucket of monsters tombstones here to decorate the tops of my hills. They're going to be sort of burial mounds, I guess. We're going to cover up the gap between the edge of the tombstone and the hill itself using our small glue gun here. Just going to fill that in with hot glue and just make that nice and smooth. Make it a nice inclined plane, more gradually inclined, as opposed to something that has this noticeable lip and gap in between. Plus, it's going to make the tombstone stand stay on the hill that much stronger. We're bonding it that much stronger, adding that glue. And I'm also going to do some vines, as I usually do. Now, all this is going to get painted. All this hot glue, obviously. Where this is, you know, we're still dealing with the undercoats and priming at this point. We haven't really started working with paints yet, so it doesn't matter what color the hot glue goes on underneath. I've gotten this translucent pink. I'm just using it up. Don't have a whole lot of uses for translucent pink, So that's becoming my vine. You can see I put some in the seam on this side also. And we're just putting these vines on just like that. And really, they're not really vines. They're really more like roots. You'll see on the larger hill, when I finally paint this up, I leave them brown, the dirty brown that I make the hill itself on the side. And that's the best look. On the smaller one, I paint them green like vines. And I got to tell you, that was a mistake. I wouldn't do again. I wouldn't make them vines. I would just make them look like roots and dirt. And then we're just going to paint the sides of our hills brown. This is just a very basic brown that came out of a large set of acrylic paints. Obviously, we're going to do the tops green. I'm using just a nice big brush. You've seen me use this brush before on large pieces of terrain, buildings and such. It's a big favorite of mine for terrain because of its size. Really nice. It's good for dry brushing. It's good for regular brushing. I mean, just really applies the paint super fast. Not as fast as in this video, obviously. I'm not the Flash, but pretty quick. And obviously we're going to paint the tombstones to our best of our ability, the grave markers, just using techniques we use everywhere. I'm going to pick out in white and black. I'm going to break up the soil so it's not so uniform, just to make little bone fragments, little bits of rock, just to make it look a little more like natural soil, like there's stones in it and stuff, and just add another level of realism. And then we're going to put some glue on some of the flaws on the side where the plastic meets, any place where it's a little too monotonous maybe. We just want to break it up. If there's anything you want to hide on the bottom, we're going to then dump our flock, which is green tea, and I'm out of it. I actually have to buy some more green tea. This is the last I have. Not that that's particularly of interest to you guys, but I was a little sparser with it maybe on this project than I would have been otherwise, because I am running low on it. So I've got to get to the store and try to find the cheapest green tea I can in bulk. If you guys know where that would be found, probably Walmart or something like that, I'm guessing. And I'm going to put, of course, some terrain plants along the side of this. Really, the last stage is we're just putting different scenery plants that I have on the hills here. And then we're going to populate it with monsters. And we're going to define the lip from where the greenery on the top of the hill is and the brown soil on the sides. I'm just going to make a nice thin line of black to kind of give it a shadow. You might decide you just like the natural progression of green to brown and that looks more natural. And there's certainly an argument could be made for that. And let's take a look at the finished product with some monsters populating it.
I was working on the video late one night, thought I'd give my viewers a couple of frights. Downloaded a ditty to go with my vitty, but I forgot about the copyright. It's a copywritten tune. I don't want to get sued, or even banned from YouTube, because then I'd be screwed. So heed my warning and don't use that hit written so long ago by Bobby Pickett. You think by now he's made enough money? I'll sue your ass, are you trying to be funny? Is a copywritten tune. I don't want to get sued, or even banned from YouTube, because then I'd be screwed.